AI is making you dumb, according to science.
Oh no, what's science? Welcome back to the Useful Not Famous family. I'm Amara.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the show where we teach you how being useful builds your brand and a better business. So, this show is split into 3 different parts. The first part is the what? The first part is the how. Nope.
Why?
The first part.
So we're a few weeks off. So we do a 15-minute show, 3 5-minute segments. I put 5 minutes on the clock to begin. So you see there's a little clock. If you're watching, if you're listening, it doesn't matter. But
I give up
5
already.
minutes on why, 5 minutes on what, and 5 minutes on how. So
I
we
don't
will
even use AI that
we will
much.
end this episode with the how and how to use AI to not be a dummy. But so AI is making you dumb.
Yeah,
and
so
this
tell
is-
me about this study.
Yeah, this is actual like scientific study world. This isn't just
Wait, scientific study world?
yeah, the scientific study world. It's right across the street from Disney World.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That sounds so much more fun.
You love Disney.
Yeah, but scientific study world, you know I love a good study.
Okay, so from the world of science, there's a couple studies. One of them is called Your Brain on ChatGPT, and it's from MIT.
MIT, KEYMOUC.
And it found that people who relied on ChatGPT showed the weakest brain connectivity, lowest memory retention, and the effects continued for weeks after they discontinued use of AI.
I wonder why that is.
So
Is it because I have a couple questions, I guess. Is it because you're atrophying? I know you weren't part of the study, but I'm positing some questions.
maybe I was.
Oh no. Is it because you're atrophying part of your brain that has like cognitive thinking and reasoning? Or is it because it even is like that pleasure center where you get that dopamine hit? Like, I wonder, I don't know. I know basically nothing about the brain. I have one, and that's basically as far as I go. Well, sometimes I have one.
Like you have something like Alzheimer's where it's...
What? Sorry.
What were we talking about? Where the cognitive decline of someone who gets Alzheimer's is directly correlated with their regular brain activity. Like people who do crossword puzzles and write and read and all the things that actually stimulate parts of the brain, not necessarily watching TV, like doing things that actually require you to be putting together new connections in your brain, has been shown, not through this study, through other studies, to reduce the incidence of Alzheimer's.
That's very interesting. That's why my grandma's always doing the crossword.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, actually, though, she really is, because she's trying to fight that off because it runs rampant through my family, which is why I can't remember anything.
Huh? But yeah, so I mean, that sort of connects then, is when people are regularly offloading their thinking, not using AI. So we'll talk about how we recommend using AI in 10 minutes. But how people will offload and tell me what I think about this.
So that's what started this episode. This idea is I was reflecting as I was writing, spoiler alert, a newsletter coming out in a little bit.
Well, no, and if you're not on the newsletter, it's Useful Not Famous. It is usefulnotfamous.com. You can put your email, and every Monday, sometimes Tuesdays, you get an email from
Me.
Sweetie Pie over here.
So I'm Sweetie Pie. Hey.
Bada bing.
So this came about when I was just reflecting on something like, okay, what do I want to write? Like, how do I motivate people and make people feel excited for the coming week? And that's why I have it go out on Mondays, sometimes Tuesdays. And I was thinking back to, this will always stick with me. When we were recording with someone that we worked with, they basically, how it works is I'll come up with the entire like content plan of short form and long form content, long form being YouTube videos. And I have the basic premise of the YouTube video where it's like the idea and then follow-up questions for you to answer. Super straightforward. It's basically just like a prompt sort of thing, like you're writing a mini essay almost.
And to prepare so you know what you'll talk about, not so you write a script. Or
Exactly. Yeah. Not writing scripts purely just for you to get your thoughts in order and be like, oh, cool, I want to talk about this place. Like, it's very straightforward stuff. Like, you know, your community, let's talk about it. So what happened one particular recording was, I don't even remember what the video was about, but I just remember she showed up with like, spoiler alert, with like notes, like almost half an inch thick of notes. And I was like, wow, like someone came to party. And I looked and it was all ChatGPT. And I was like, is that ChatGPT written? And then she's like, yeah, I ran out of time. And I was like, but you took the time. Well, I digress. I'm not going to shame anybody, but this was someone who was born, raised, lived in the same exact community her entire life, knew the area inside and out. Like, just driving around, she'd be like, oh, there's that. Oh, there's that. Oh, there's that. But when it came to actually answering it in video form, which maybe it could just be like a performance thing, time in her head, I think she just stressed herself out. But anyway, I was like, okay, let's see how this video goes.
Well, and I actually want to rewind for 1 second that this was the one and only time that this happened.
The only time.
Every single time before that was natural from the brain.
Yeah. So then this was when ChatGPT was really becoming like the thing that you use. And you have all these think groups and masterminds who are like, use AI for every thought you have on this planet. And it's like, how about you use your brain for certain things that only you know? But I digress. So huge stack of notes. So I was like, okay, let's just see how this goes. But I could just feel the stress from her as she was trying to read through. And then she would read one sentence at a time and then recite it to camera and then go back and read the next one.
Well, I remember before that, though, you would say, oh, so tell me about XYZ.
Yes.
And then it would be, oh, let me see my notes.
Yeah. And then you finally took the notes away because I was getting, to be fully honest, I was getting very frustrated because I was like, no, you know this. What the fuck are you doing? Like, stop reading your fucking notes. You don't need notes. You live here for 100 years. So you finally took the notes and then you're like, okay, no. Just like, let's just talk. Like, you don't need notes. It's a crutch.
Well, just like we've always done. Like, because we had done it multiple times before.
And as soon as you did that, there was a little moment of like, what do I say? But then as soon as you did that, it was like the safety security blanket was gone. And then she could just say whatever she wanted to because she was released from the shackles of the perfect ChatGPT answer. So anyway, that will always stick with me as the perfect use case of not having AI tell you everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like you said, everyone is selling AI right now.
Yes.
So selling to use it. And like something I just posted today, the perfect way to have a life that you do not want to have is to take advice from someone who's leading a life you do not want to have.
Yes.
And sadly, most of the people who are selling things, especially online, they may have found one thing that worked for them once, and now they're the expert in X, where that isn't something they actually have experience in. They're like, oh, I made this video. I had a lot of views. I'm going to teach you how to make videos.
And we work with a lot of realtors, and this happens all the time in this space.
Because there's the thought of easy money. Any promise of easy money will be something that we'll all be gravitated towards because it makes we work hard. We all work so hard and we're so busy, and it feels like we're getting pennies for everything we do. So it's completely natural to be like, this is easy money. I can sell people on this. But also, stop buying things. Buy things.
That'll be a whole other episode.
Like education from people who are leading a life you want to lead, not people who are in the same or worse boat than you are. Not that you're in a bad boat, but just if they're in a spot and this is their way to get out of that spot, they're not going to be able to help you.
Yes. I thought you were going to say something else. But anyway, just to round it out, another thing too to think about with using AI for responses. So specifically, we're talking about local content. I should have said that at the top. With local content, if you ask AI, specifically, I'm going to pick on ChatGPT, they're going to give you the same answers that they're given 55 other realtors in your market. guess what? You're going to look like a fucking moron because you all have the same answers. And the problem is when you don't stick out, you blend in. You look like every other realtor in the area. And what you need to do instead, well, we'll talk about that in the next section, but that is just something to keep in mind. And especially if you're doing faceless content even too, then you really just blend in with everybody. You don't even have your face in there where you look unique. So anyway, that just another thing to think about if you're using ChatGPT, just dig into your soul, what you have left, and then just pick out your places. Anyway,
I'm putting the next 5 minutes on the clock.
So now on to the what. I feel very passionately about this.
I know. Well,
it drives me fucking nuts.
Like, faceless comes up because yesterday or the day before, we saw someone who was showing how they made faced real estate content where they were touring like actual homes that were for sale.
I thought you were going to say what happened this week.
I'm not sure yet. I don't know what happened. I don't know where. I just wanted to say, because you said the faceless, it's to the point now where people have workflows for creating actual home tours where all they do is they have an AI avatar and the still photos from Zillow or the MLS, and it can look like someone is touring the home. So suddenly, if you can just generate these for every single listing in your entire market or the entire country, if you wanted to, faceless content, how helpful is that now? Because I want to watch a person. This person is showing me around when I don't even realize, wait, is it just sort of basically shifting the angle on a photo? But that's all it is. But that's basically what a home tour is.
Or even if you're terrified to be on camera, which you really need to get past that. I'm like, I need to be the like hard love person. But if you are absolutely terrified to be on camera, then use this to your benefit and just be like, oh, well, Billy Bob is on my team and he just does all the video content and then I'm the head of the team. Like,
yeah, you can do anything.
If you want to fake it, you totally can. Just have somebody's fucking face on that video. So anyway, that brings me to this weekend when we went out in our town.
Oh, that's what I was like. Why are you laughing? I don't know what happened. So this is the what? So we have 3.5 minutes left.
Well, yeah, we've been very busy lately, but it's all good stuff. This weekend when we were going out to film our local content,
like part of what we're doing with local content is to inform the product that we're working on,
which
that you've been
working
on
in a minute.
I want to lead with that. So there's something in it for you too.
Yes,
dear listener.
Like dearly departed. So we were out filming my local content for our town. I've absolutely loved it. It's been so much fun. And I actually haven't really talked to anybody in the public yet because we're very private and we don't really talk to many people, to be fully honest.
We have exactly 0 friends in town.
Yay.
I mean, that sounds sad. I mean, like we keep like, to ourselves.
And we're always working. So.
All of our friends are elsewhere and we travel to them.
Hi, Tori. So we were out and it was a Friday night, which I never record on the weekends like that. I purposely avoid it because I don't want to be in all the mishmash of everybody else who's off work. So we went out Friday night and I was like, okay, fine. We'll just turn it into a date night. We'll hit a couple spots and then just do video content for it. So we go to this one restaurant that I've wanted to go to because I love their gluten-free sandwich. It's so fucking good. And we go there, we're sitting outside, and then all of a sudden I get up to go to the bathroom and then this lady stops me and she's like, oh, your name of the platform. And I was like, yeah, hi. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm not prepared for this. I'm not prepared to be recognized out in public, which has happened once before, but that was like already months ago by now. So then she stops me. We talk for a little bit and then we had already interacted over DMs and she's like, oh, I'm blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, hi. And then we talk for a little bit and then I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I really have to pee. So I get in the doors and I get 2 feet inside the doors and another person is like, hey, you're blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh yeah, hi.
Yeah, and like blah, blah, being the brand name.
Yeah, being the name of the platform. Well, I guess I could say it. I don't really care.
Well, we'll just save it.
It's recommended to everybody. I get DMs all the time and they're like, can I follow you? Fuck off. No.
But yeah, it's the brand name. Like we build everything around brand and like there's personal brand and there's brand. This is a brand, so it's not Amara. It's not your it's not your name as the platform. So this is the beauty is this platform people know by name, not even from visuals because we haven't even created a logo yet.
No.
Like literally they know it from our brand opener, closer, stuff we've talked about in the past.
Yeah. So then I talked to that next lady for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, sorry, I have to go pee. And meanwhile, I saw that her food was delivered, so I was like, I gotta go back. Then I get stopped another time right as I'm about to go to the bathroom.
Even more than that, though, you said there was someone standing there clearly in the wings waiting.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was
like
the person.
waiting. Yeah, and then it was drawing like a little crowd where people were looking like, who is that? And I was like, nobody look at me. So anyway, I finally got to the bathroom, but I got stopped 3 different times at one restaurant within like 15 minutes. It was the craziest thing ever, and I was like, I can't go back outside.
Well, and we were sitting out on the sidewalk, like we were sitting outside at the table to eat, and you were talking to the person at the other table on your way in. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And the food came, and I'm like, I'm just trying to wait to eat.
I know.
And like I was waiting, and like by the time you went in, waiting, the waitress comes out. She's like, oh, is everything okay? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm just waiting on her. And she looked at me with a big smile and said, I know. And I was like, that's weird. Like, I thought she just knew you went to the bathroom or something, but apparently everyone knew that you had a little line of people waiting to greet you.
Yeah, it was actually a little overwhelming because I wasn't prepared for that mentally. I don't know. I like to be mentally prepared for things. And I was like, oh no, what have I done? I'm a local celebrity. No.
Well, no, it's like, very, very small scale. But then it was funny because then when you came back to the table, the waitress is really nice, but I'm just looking at how she's looking at you.
She looked into my soul differently. Like before, she didn't really even look at me, but then she was like, you're welcome. And I was like, is she going to kiss me?
But that's what's interesting. So now, what is the name of this show?
Cuckoo Banooples?
Yeah. Useful, not famous.
Yes.
So the only reason anyone knows who you are in town is because the platform has been found to be very useful.
Yes, because I tried to be as useful as possible.
It's not, there's never been a single thing of this is me, this is who I am, you need to know who I, like this is
None of them even knew what my first name was.
Exactly. Even though
I say it at the end of every video, which is fine.
But,
like, that's perfect.
But people did know, wait, I said that in a weird sentence. People did say things like, wait, are you a realtor?
Uh-huh.
Where it's like, no. However, you know that there's a connection to real estate because of blah, 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 and all these things we have in place.
Yeah.
But it's all to say it's very interesting in this platform. We've talked about it a little bit, but it's very new. It's not that old at all. But all of this can happen really rapidly when you actually put the effort in to do it. So that leads us to what you're working on specifically right now.
Yeah, right now. But then obviously I'm going to pull you in for the last bit of it.
Mm-hmm. And we've been working on it for a while, but right now it's at this point, a different inflection point.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. You can find it at myhiveway.com, HIVEWAY. Those are the free prompts that we have right now. So basically every Monday, I believe, a new prompt is out there. So you can just have a new video for your content.
What's a prompt?
So a prompt, basically they're split between like talking head and out and about. Now I'm focusing much more on the out and abouts just because I find those the most fun, but it's a guided prompt. So broken down step by step, no step skipped. So it's completely like you can go out in the field, look at this and know exactly what you want to record. So the prompt is,
but this is to record video
content for local businesses, specifically realtors, because we work with so many.
But anyone who wants to be hyper local and build a platform.
So that's what I'm testing out here with the platform that we've built, and it's been very successful so far. But basically you have the prompt, like what it is at the top. So it's like film one out and about at your favorite coffee shop. And then the next sections are going to be guided questions, very specific questions that make sense, first off, because sometimes you'll try to do things with AI and you'll have hallucinations or really weird questions where it's like, I don't care about that, or nobody cares. So very specific questions that we use when we're prompting people out in public when we're filming, or for myself, that will make the best video and the most useful and helpful video for people possible. So it could be questions like, well, first, where is this located? So if you have like multiple downtowns, which one is it at? Then like, what's the go-to order? What's unique about this place? Describe the vibe. Is it like a hangout spot? Can you eat there? Like all these different things.
But yeah, it'll be like 3 things.
But very specific 3 things. I I've been working
You
on
get
it, so I have a
excited,
lot of,
but like
I know.
for one individual prompt,
Yeah,
it's like,
only 3 questions. So it's
this
your
is-
hook.
Mhm.
So it's, hey, city, and then curiosity creating question. Like, are you looking for the best chocolate croissants? Let me show you. And then you go to your local coffee shop where they have the best chocolate croissants. And then you just describe it super briefly. And then you have your brand closer at the end, which we've talked about in another episode.
Yeah, so you have your hook, you have your 1, 2, 3 of what you're saying, and the brand closer.
Yeah, just super, super simple. So that's the free version. Now, the version that we're working on is going to be a whole other bag of hammers, which I'm so excited for. This is going to be even more granularly focused with examples of what you can actually say when you're recording. Because some people, they do get stuck when they're like reading the question and you're outside. Like, I get it, because when I'm out recording by myself in public, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a little daunting. So I have the questions and the examples of what you can say so simple and so straightforward that you can do it if you get that like stress response. Like when I get stressed, my brain just completely wipes and then I forget exactly what I'm saying, as you know from my thesis presentation where I was like, fuck. So I have it just very straightforward like that with even more specific questions and a new, which I'm very excited about, B-roll section. So B-roll is like the supplementary, I'm like out of breath talking about this. I'm so excited. Oh no, it's a booger probably. But B-roll is basically just the supplementary footage that you overlay when you're like talking to camera.
And think A-roll, B-roll. A-roll is you. B-roll is everything else.
Yeah, basically. So very specific B-roll shots that you should get, like exactly everything, because we have a formula and a system for how we film stuff. So it's very replicatable. And then how to put them together also. So it's like, okay, this is where you're talking about this. Then you put this clip here. So then you can edit it on your own and you're not like, okay, well, now what do I do? So it's supposed to be just the most simple, straightforward. I was trying to think, what would I want if I was making video content like that and I was completely new? Like, I want it to be like a model plane where you get all the parts and it's like, okay, attach A to A. Got it. Cool. And you still have fun and you're still in a safe environment, but you still get to have fun with it. Like, make it creative and everything. And there's a shit ton more that's going to go into it, but we're already like 55 minutes for this episode.
Oh yeah. But so
and that's
you're
it.
working on Hiveway and you set the goal to launch on October 1st.
Yes. And I'm also documenting every single day of the process. And so far I've only been doing client work instead of Hiveway, which is not good because we only have 16 days left.
Well, yeah. But if you want to know when it launches and
if you want to watch me struggle, go to my Instagram.
This only scratches the surface with the entire picture of what's part of this push.
Yeah,
but if you want to know,
very beginning,
go to usefulnotfamous.com and sign up for the email newsletter. And you will know as soon as it is available. And you can get the cheapest price it'll ever be, because the first few people are almost guinea pigs to a little degree. So,
and I wanted to talk to you about that if we do a whole year rate and then people can get a super discount. But we'll talk about that later.
So 5 minutes on the clock. Now,
I blacked out. I was like, what the hell were we even talking about in the
beginning? What is the how? And we're going to stay under 5 minutes for this. So how do you use AI like a dummy?
So
not like a dummy. How do you not be a dummy and use AI?
I'm frowning. So I feel like I should say, don't get me wrong. I totally believe in using AI to make your life better, but you need to use it for the right things. So things that you actually can offload from your brain. Like, I know I've talked bad about it before, but like writing descriptions for your social media. Now, there is a certain flow that it should have, and it shouldn't have M dashes and a ton of emojis and things. It should sound more personal and conversational, but that's because you're not prompting your AI properly.
Well, yeah, like you're not just saying write a description.
Exactly.
You're saying these are the things I want.
A prompt that's literally this long for each person that we work with, because, like, spoiler alert, I want it to sound exactly like them, like how they would talk. Well, yeah. And you have to do that. You can't just be like, write me this for this.
Like, remember, we've talked about it before, but this is like working with an employee, not like offloading all of the thought. This is like working with an entry-level employee to write this for you, but you want them to write it in the style that you want it written, the thing that'll serve you and your platform most.
So
best.
it should very much be a tool that you use for the things that still matter, but don't exactly need your brain power as much for that. Now, where I would say you should allocate that brain power is in the strategy of your videos and figuring out where you want to highlight. So we really focus on making local content specifically with our clients. So we have scoops, which is also going to be a thing that's going to be part of Highway, which is very exciting. Or spoiler. Oops. Wasn't supposed to say that yet. Anyway, lots of spoilers in this episode. But that is like local news content. So we do that. And then we have our out and abouts, which are local hidden gem content. So for the local hidden gem content, though, you want to actually pick out local hidden gems, things that you actually like. Because if you're talking about businesses that ChatGPT told you that you should care about, you're not going to care about it. You're not going to know anything about it. Honestly, you're going to have a really bad video because it's going to feel so inauthentic that people are going to be able to tell tremendously. So somebody that we work with, she does a really good job of being like, no, I want to go to every single business right before we go because I want to be very familiar with it. And I really appreciate that about her because like it's, even though she's been there before, she wants to make sure, no, I know what it's like this month, this week. So I know exactly like what it's going to be, which I really like. Yeah. I'm like out of breath.
Yeah.
I'm like sweating. I got so excited.
So you want to use AI as a tool. So the photo camera is a thing. That's a tool to take photos. You can also paint the photo that you wanted as a camera, that you wanted from the camera, but it's just more effective to use the camera to take a photo of your home, your friend, your whatever.
Yes.
Use AI like it's a camera rather than a paintbrush. Like use it as the tool to amplify what you want to capture, what you want to create, not to have it tell you what you want to create or what you need. Like it is, we had this before, like you can 1/10 X your output using AI. That's when AI makes you dumb. Like you have offloaded all of your brain activity to AI. You've 1/10 what you're doing. Or what everyone who is going to just speed ahead is doing, they are 10xing what they do. They're not removing themselves from the equation. They're using AI as a force multiplier for what they can achieve. And that is very quickly, like months, maybe a year, that's going to separate people dramatically. Like if you think there's sort of like haves and have-nots now, just wait until this sort of all plays out because everything is changing.
Oh yeah, like I've been able to 10x my output tremendously. I've been able to cut my workload like in half, and I can actually now focus on these things that do bring me joy, like Highway. Completely different than where it started, which I talked about in my first little episode on my social media. So I guess just to round out this how section is use your brain first, use it to figure out what you would like to highlight, which obviously Highway in the future is going to help you with this. But use AI to help you figure out what, like the idea. Use your brain. See, I'm getting dumber with this episode. Use your brain to highlight what you would like to highlight. So think of maybe 4 or 5 businesses that you really like in your area that you frequent all the time. Highlight those. If you need help, you can use AI to tell you certain facts and things. Like essentially how I like to think of AI is like a research assistant or a copywriter. That is tremendously helpful for me. And as a previous research assistant, though, AI makes a lot of mistakes. So you really need to fact check what it gives you, which is another point of why you need to be really careful with AI, because there have been certain things where like you'll have hallucinations, which means that AI like, I'm just going to say ChatGPT, where ChatGPT will literally just make up an answer if it doesn't have an answer for you, because it has to give you something. It can't be like, I don't know, like maybe down the road it will, because it'll become more human, but that can happen.
But that's why it feels so human.
Yeah.
Is if it doesn't know, it'll make something up. And
Like,
that's what
it made up a
like,
really
kid
cool
will
coffee
do.
shop. And I was like, I want to go there. And then I looked it up and I was like, this doesn't even fucking exist.
Mm-hmm.
So like, use it to help enhance your stuff versus being the meat. So like, okay, like a recipe. You're making, what the hell do people even make? Now we're only like eating steak. Okay. You're making like a chicken pot pie.
Oh, fancy. No,
It's
we're
for
doing
health.
stuff. We're doing stuff with animal-based diet with the documentary that we've like sort of been helping with. So yeah, much more in the animal-based segment.
So you're making a chicken pot pie. You need to make the entire recipe and then add seasoning to it. AI is your seasoning. You need to be the one. This isn't a really good fucking analogy now that I'm saying it, but just essentially you need to use AI as your seasoning, not the main dish. So do that. I ran out of steam. We can't do this after I eat. I'm so tired.
Could you imagine just having AI make the recipes for you? Just be like, what should I eat? And then it just gives you like a...
So people do that.
But I mean like letting it just free reign, free roam and give you a sardine and chocolate apple fritter. Like
That's what I made for dinner tonight. What's wrong with that? Can you feel the tension? This
tension?
is Amara.
What kind of tension?
I'm in your ears. Or
My
your
ears.
car.
I'm not wearing headphones.
Or in your kitchen. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them.
Who's them? Why you look up? Is there someone on the roof?
I thought I looked down, but I guess I looked down.
Yeah, you and
Anyway, so to round out this section,
Yeah.
just make sure that you're actually thinking about your local content and using your own brain to figure out what makes your area so remarkable, so special, so unique, so that you don't end up with the same content that everybody else in your area is making, because it's getting very saturated very quickly, and it's just going to keep getting oversaturated the easier, quote unquote, it is to make content. So don't take the easy road. Take the road where you maybe need to think for 10 minutes longer.
Or more, because that's the thing. Again, this is
Yeah.
how AI is making you dumb. Don't be
Yes.
dumb.
Please.
If you're not dumb with how you use AI, you're not gonna become dumb.
Become dumb.
But yeah. So
So anyway,
use
on
your
that
brain.
note,
Bye.
bye.
What are you laughing at?